Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 2 is Goddess Journey, and I'm doing Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 2, Sisters Before Misters, and the party is continuing, and Sheree called Martell over to speak with her and Kenya. So, she's still telling Sheree that she basically got a message from Martell in her DMs on Instagram. She said that it was like 6 months ago, and so was Mayada was talking as well, letting her know about her man Martell has women all over town. So everybody's like basically giving information to Sheree, and Sheree is like not listening or believing people like her per usual. So like usual, Sheree thinks that she knows everything, and she doesn't know anything like usual. And people try to give her heads up about stuff, and she don't listen like usual. Just like the other times when people try to warn her, and she thought that she knew everything, and it blew up in her face. And this is gonna blow up in her face like usual because she's dumb. She doesn't learn her lesson. So she thinks because Martell looks good, his body looks nice, that he's really being honest with her and telling her everything. Like, he don't know you like that. And that you mean to tell me if he lied to his wife and was lying to his wife all those years and doing all the sneaky stuff behind her back, that he's not going to do it to you? He barely even knows you. Like, Sheree is just really stupid. Like, I'm sorry. That's dumb. She's an idiot. So next scene, you're seeing Todd come over to get Candy because Candy's still mad, telling her, why you bouncing up in my face? And she's still mad because this girl keeps saying, oh, I'm not trying to clout chase, you were asking about me. And first of all, the girl is just, this Courtney girl is just trying to create problems with Candy to give her a storyline. Because my whole thing is, what was your purpose of coming up saying to her she's asking about you? She wasn't asking about you. Someone brought, somebody that knows her, and she saw a picture of you with the person that knows her, and then she's like, oh, okay, that's her, that's Courtney, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't know you. So what are you talking about? She didn't ask about you. She just saw you in a picture with the girl and then realized that she met you before. That's all it was. She never said that she knew you. She didn't say you were clout chasing, but the way you're acting, you're getting all in your feelings and getting mad about what? Like, I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't get it. So everybody's still like going back and forth, and they moved from the room that they were originally in the party, and they left outside, went outside of the party area, and they were talking, and Sheree called basically Kenny's minions. This girl, Sheree, man, she's something else. So then Kenya and Kenny were talking, and she was telling her about what happened with Courtney and how that's crazy, how this girl is like basically starting stuff with her for no apparent reason. And then, the only person that wasn't getting into it with anybody was Marla. Marla was playing blackjack the whole damn time. So she just been chilling the whole night. Everybody else is getting mad. Then Sonya decided she didn't want no parts of it. Oh, it's my husband's party. I don't want no parts of it. This is his day. And I'm just like, ma'am, you should have gotten in the middle and told him to stop and calmed everything down if you want to get in the middle. I'm just like, Sonya, shut up, girl. You saw them arguing. You didn't say nothing the whole damn time. You were all into it and all for it. And all of a sudden now you care about the fact it's your husband's birthday now. You don't want to get involved. I'm like, girl, oh, shut the hell up. I cannot with her. Go sit down somewhere. And then Sheree was basically in the same area with them. And then she looked at basically Kenya's phone, but the message was not there. Martell showed a message, and he said it was like 2 years ago that he sent her, and she didn't accept it or whatever. Then Martell was saying, oh, she probably says everybody's messages because you know how she is. She accepts everybody's friend requests. And I'm just like, what is the boy talking about? Oh, Lord. Then he was saying it was 2 years ago, but Kenya just said it was 6 months ago. So which one is it? Did this happen 2 years ago? Which would make no sense for her to bring it up if it was 2 years ago. So I'm not really believing his story that it happened 2 years ago. Because then why would she bring it up and tell Sheree then? Doesn't make any sense. Like, it wasn't making no sense. And then, him and Kenya basically got into it because he's like, oh, you keep bringing that up, and it's not true. Nobody's interested in you, and blah, 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 blah. And, you probably talk to everybody in your DMs. And he was just basically trying to make her look like she's basically desperate and she talks to everybody anyway, so like it's not that serious. And he really didn't talk to her recently. It happened a couple of years ago, which I don't believe his story. Don't believe his story. Like, he seems like he's just saying. And then Sheree was getting mad, talking about, y'all just trying to make a false narrative and cause issues. Nobody's trying to cause issues. She was just trying to tell you what, like, the fact that he was in her DMs and she was trying to address it. But I do understand what she was saying. Like, maybe they could have picked a different time to tell her. I guess it wasn't, like, appropriate for them to say that probably, but at the same time, she was just letting you know right then and there because she didn't know whether you knew or not. But the way she was acting, it was as if she already knew the information or she knew of the situation already. So she was already defensive and having an attitude already, Sheree. So it's just like, that's the reason why people don't warn people about stuff or tell people anything. Because when you do tell them information, when you can, then, like, when you remember the information, then people come down your throat and then claim that you're making up a false narrative. It's just like, Sheree, shut the hell up. So Martell and Sheree left the party. And then next scene is Ralph with Drew. And he's with their daughter. And she chooses this bouquet of flowers to give the mom. And then Drew comes back. And she's talking with Ralph. And Ralph is like, how are you doing, you and your dad? And then she talks about how her dad is in a nursing home in a wheelchair. And he has Alzheimer's disease. And she is sad to see it because she wasn't used to seeing her dad like that, and the fact that, like, he can't remember her like that, and because he has Alzheimer's. And then she was saying how she was, like, so happy because she basically played her song of her, Drew just basically plays her music, the song that she created of her singing, and her dad actually remembered her because he's been having, like, you know, since he has Alzheimer's, trouble remembering her. So it was kind of good that he remembered her. And she was happy. And then Ralph talked about Drew's husband, that the Courtney girl is his cousin. Oh my God, seriously? So he's actually linked to that stupid girl that got into it with Candy. Like, how is that possible? Is this serious, or is he just making it up for a storyline so he could be part of that too? Like, that didn't make sense. And then Drew said they're related because they don't like people. And I'm like, I'm dead. Drew is funny. Then Sonya meets Candy for lunch at a restaurant. Next scene, talking about they went to Disneyland together with their kids. And she had did a group chat and asked the other ladies to come, but they didn't answer. Only Sonya answered. So they had fun together. And Sonya's talking about her sister and how she wants to move out. And her husband kind of wants them to move out as well. So it seems like they're having conflict at home. And she's trying to figure out with her family, her family living with her, and then her husband was the best thing. But I think she should listen to her husband. If her husband doesn't want her there, want the family there, and thinks that they should be in separate courts, I think that they should be in separate courts because they're having conflict. And it makes more sense to be separate if that's what it is. Okay, Todd says she doesn't put... And then Candy was talking about how Todd says that she doesn't put into his dreams like he put into her, and that he seems to want, into his dreams or something, that he wants her support, and that she's trying to give it to him. And then Sonya told Candy about Courtney talking ish about her, calling her ghetto, how she basically ate at this tropical restaurant, and how she basically went online and gave a review of the restaurant and showed the restaurant, and then quote unquote Candy's viewers came to the restaurant and basically posted the information, and that she turned the restaurant ghetto, and all her followers came and made it ghetto at the restaurant. And then Candy asked her, oh, did you defend me? And then, Tom was like, yeah, but when you see the clip, she didn't defend her. She was sitting here laughing just like Sheree does. You know how Sheree be lying to people and acting like she's standing for people, and then when you come to find out during reading time, she was laughing the whole time. So Sonya's doing the same thing. And then Candy said, I don't believe her story because she already hanging out with Marlo and Sheree and stuff like that, being all buddy-buddy with them. So I don't believe that she stood up for her. She's right. She didn't. Sonya is being fake, and she definitely didn't defend her. She was actually laughing. So that shows me that she's two-faced, that she can't be trusted. And Candy has a right not to trust her, because how you sitting here laughing about someone talking about me? Like, what are you doing? And then next scene, you see, like, Marlo. They show Marlo for a couple seconds, and they show Ralph and Drew chilling with the family, and then they show Sonya and Ross. And they're basically FaceTiming, and Sonya's talking about how she wants to have a baby number 2, but that they're not having enough time to do so at this time because they're so busy and everything. I'm just like, this shit is crazy. So now she wants to have a baby with her husband, but she's not too sure because of their busy schedules if it's going to be able to happen or not. So I'm like, oh, okay, girl. They're cute, I guess. Husband is cute, though. Sonya's husband is very handsome. She got Ross. He's pretty cute. So if she wants to, go ahead, girl. Next scene is Candy and Todd. They're at Todd's restaurant, and it's called Blaze. And it's not popping off like he expected. I guess once the pandemic had happened, from what Candy's saying, that the restaurant is having, like, not too good influx of people coming there. It's not popping like it is. So Todd is tweaking some more items, like different food items at his restaurants to get it popping or get more people inside there. And then she was talking to him, and she's asking why you keep opening more restaurants, because he said he wants to open up a Mexican restaurant as well. So he's going to open up a Mexican restaurant and then a pizza place, because he just feels like if he opens more restaurants, it can help him with his businesses that he's trying to create, like the movies that he wants to make, direct, and can do with cash flow that he makes from his restaurants. That's what he said. And the new items that he has is some 2 different glazed wings, crab burger. So they're trying it out. And then they were talking about how at one of the restaurants, how somebody got, basically there's an incident at the restaurant, and how Sheree and the girls were like, they didn't want anything bad happening at her restaurant because there was an incident with a worker getting into it with the head chef, and he had a gun out and he shot at him. Basically, that's what Candy said. But Sheree or whatever, being shady, like, we don't know if we go to the gang restaurant, if we gonna get eat out or get shot at. And I'm just like, first of all, the incident didn't even occur around people. It happened to the king, the head chef, and they went outside. They had got into it inside. They left outside, from what Candy said, and then he pulled out a gun and then shot at him. So nobody got hurt in this situation. This is my problem with Sheree. She always got something smart to say, but then she wasn't even in the incident. So how does she even know what happened? Like, that's why I don't like Sheree. She always got something smart to say, but she wasn't even around. So are you saying smart stuff about people and you don't even know? See, that's her problem. She says stuff out her mouth and then try to hide her hand. So she throw rocks, but then try to hide her hand later, and then try to act like she never said nothing. She's a punk, basically. Don't talk shit and then hide your hand during a reunion, because that's what you do every year. Try to pretend you never said it. Then when they play exactly what you said, then you try to backpedal. Like they say, the gay boys, the boys say backpedal and pussy pop, okay? Don't backpedal later, man, because you definitely was talking shit like usual. And then Kenya and her friend are having a play date with their daughters. So her name is Akila, and they had a play date with both their daughters, and the children are like basically playing tennis. And basically, Kenya was saying how she envies the relationship that Akila has, and that the Monietta hooked her up with Roy, and she's crazy about him. She's very smitten by him. And then they were just talking, and then the next thing they show Sheree at a restaurant, and she met up with Monietta, and she's complaining about Martell and the way they look at him, how they're basically trying to make him seem more aggressive. And then Monietta is like confirmed, oh yeah, the same thing happened with my husband, how they were trying to make, same thing was happening when they were trying to make my husband look aggressive too, so I understand. And then she was basically saying the whole incident with Kenya was that it was 2 years ago, the message, and that she had already seen it because Martell had showed her the message. So she got to be, basically she feel like that Kenya should apologize because of how she came at him. She was all in his face and stuff like that. And it happened 2 years ago, so why are you bringing it up? She didn't feel like you didn't bring the receipts. You didn't have no information. How you bringing it up? Like it just happened or something recently when it happened a couple of years ago. So next scene is she's still talking to Keelan, and Kenya just feels that they need to meet up because they are friends to have this discussion about what happened. That she feels like Sheree is stigmatized, and that she all into Martell, and Martell ain't even what he's cracked up to be. Like we're friends. Like, you need to chill out. So Drew and Ralph go to the studio next scene, and they just released the song independently. And I listened to a song with the beat, and it sounded kind of generic at first, but it's cute. It's a cute little bop, you know. She sings really well. She has a great voice, but for me, it's just very generic, the lyrics to me. And then she was talking to the guy in the studio, the producer, and she was just telling him that their relationship is up and down, and that they connect very well. Since he's a manager, he's helping her with her career, how they're connecting a whole lot better with their relationship through music. And that they're at their happy place and communication is getting better. And then, you know, because of them doing this music, so they're building based off of their passion for music, how he plays the keyboard, she sings. So they basically play the song a cappella, and the song sounds so much better. So the producer was like, oh, you should do like a tiny desk type concert. But my whole thing is, most people that do tiny desk concerts actually have a plethora of music. She doesn't have enough music to be doing a tiny desk thing. If she does more music and gets more popping, then she could do that. But most people that do tiny desk concerts have more music. So what is she talking about? I'm like, okay, girl. But I do like her song a cappella, though. She does have a good voice. She sounds really beautiful. Like, she does have a nice voice. And I'm happy the relationship is going good so far, because we already know from the previews and from what we're hearing, allegedly, they're going through divorce. So, or are they just doing it for a storyline? We'll see. And Sheree's at her warehouse, and with her clothing line, doing quality control. And Sheree asks about basically the setup and everything for everything, because you know, Sheree and basically Kenya meet at her warehouse, and she basically was asking Kenya how's the guy that Miranda set her up with, and she said the chemistry is great, and she's very interesting, and she's happy with the guy thus far. Everything's going good so far. And then they basically start talking about the setup, about what happened and what's happening. And Kanye was talking about how she just didn't like how he was talking to her. Is very abusive. Like, he can defend himself, but the way he was talking to her is very abusive, and that she needs to see the signs when there's abusive guy, because she didn't see the signs from before. So you need to understand that. And then Sheree's like, you throwing it out of proportion. You and him was both going at it. What are you talking about? And I'm like, well, y'all both was going at it, so y'all both did kind of heated. So she's right, but at the same time, some of the things that he's saying, like, he was going too far with it. Like, he was basically making assumptions about her. She just said that you contacted her through the DMs. She didn't say nothing disrespectful about him until he started coming at her, saying things to her. That's the main reason why she was like, that's why he's a cheater. Once a cheater is always a cheater, she was saying. And he'll never change. He'll never be shit. That's why she was saying that, because of the same situation that happened with his ex-wife, how he did her. It's like, how do you expect him to do you any better if that's how he did his own wife that he's been with for how many fucking years? If he's doing that to her, what makes you think you're different? That's what she was trying to tell Miss Sheree. But you know, Sheree always thinks that she knows everything, so she never listens to nothing nobody say, per usual. So Sheree was telling Kenya, how you talking about him being wrong? You were wrong too. And she said, how was I wrong? I'm trying to tell you some information that I know for sure. And then Sheree basically spilled that, oh, he already showed me the message and then told me about it. So you're not telling me nothing new. But what he showed me was years ago, though. So she was still basically saying, like, he has no right to yell at me like he did. And she said, well, Sheree said, y'all both were wrong, though. And then Kane said, he hit me up. I didn't like how he did his ex-wife. And she said that she doesn't want to get to know Martell ever. Like, she don't want to know him, and she never did want to know him, and she ain't trying to know him, period. And she said, it was 6 months ago. He told me about it, Kenya, and She said he's just so disrespectful to me, and that's what Kenya kept saying. Like, he was so disrespectful to me, and the way he communicated, and he was all in my face. But she said you was all in his face, so it's okay for you to do so because I'm defending myself. That's why he doesn't have a right to be all aggressive with me. And she said, see, you putting this narrative about being aggressive. Every time a guy comes at you in your face after you done came at him, now the man is aggressive and you have a problem with him. That's crazy. That's what she was saying. That's my daughter, people. Let me see. But being aggressive. So that's my whole thing. And it's just like, girl, y'all two are crazy. But basically what she was saying is like, it's supposed to be bros before hoes. So she basically saying, bros before hoes. What you talking about? She said, he's the hoe, we're bros, we sisters, we girls. We supposed to be on each other's side before a man, and not let a man come between us. That's what I'm saying. Just like men do the same thing. And then Sheree said, why you call people aggressive? The way she's speaking is abusive. Talking about people is crazy. And she said, I'm not trying to do a false narrative, but I'm just saying he is abusive. Like, look how he's speaking to me for no apparent reason. And I wasn't even saying nothing too bad about him. I was just saying that he hit me up in the DMs, and I was just letting you know, giving you a heads up, so there's no problems later on down the line if it comes up. I'm just giving you a heads up. And then basically Kane was like, I think we should just agree to disagree because we ain't getting nowhere with this conversation, I guess, because you ain't trying to hear me out. You on his side. So it is what it is. And I'm just like, oh my girl. So that's the episode in a nutshell. I don't be going deep in depth with these episodes because I just feel like it's self-explanatory. A lot is not happening in these episodes. It's really not a lot happening, so I'm not going to be doing long reviews if a lot is not happening in the episodes. It's really not. So just let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. And this is my review for season 15, episode 2, Sisters Before Misses. Talk to you later, YouTube.